That's what we discovered when we stopped distracting ourselves with more work to do. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Yasmin.
And I'm Nadia.
If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and the bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video on how to transform your life from stressed and unfulfilled to joyful and balanced. So today we want to talk you through our journey and experience of how we overcame our repetitive burnout, where we were experiencing burnout every few months and we had this burnout cycle, to how we are now managing more than ever, but we're doing it without burnout and with balance. So if you've been following our journey for a while, you probably already know that in our early to mid-20s, we were both working full-time in our law jobs, building our way up the corporate legal ladder while doing our law degrees part-time and buying and renovating our properties. And during this journey, we experienced burnout time and time again, probably a few times every year. So when we were going through this and we were trying to tackle our burnout, the first thing we did is what you hear a lot of people say, which is more the strategical tools and tips, like taking a break and having self-care, having better boundaries, doing meditation. But despite us implementing all these new habits and tools, none of them really provided us with a long-term solution. We were experiencing burnout again and again and again. What we discovered is that these tools alone act as a plaster to a root cause or problem. They can patch up minor stressful situations or a little bit of fatigue and burnout, but when you're someone who is frequently having repeated burnout time and time again, there is a much deeper issue. And that's what we were faced with. We knew that there was a deeper issue that we had to get to, a deeper root cause, so that we could stop this repetitive burnout. Yeah, and that's what we discovered when we stopped distracting ourselves with more work to do. We started to really ask the questions of why we kept on getting burnt out so we could get to the root cause. We slowed down and we did the inner work that we always talk about, the shadow work, and we discovered for us the root cause was not feeling enough or worthy in some way. We always felt we had to do more or be more, even though we were already doing so much. We discovered that our motivation to always work and achieve was fueled by this feeling of needing to prove ourselves or distract ourselves from psychological beliefs or traumas. This was a game changer for us, because just knowing that the reason we kept on feeling the need to push ourselves to achieve more or keep working and not allowing ourselves to rest without feeling guilty or prove ourselves to others or make more money and climb the corporate ladder or buy more material possessions was all rooted in this need to feel good enough or finally prove ourselves. And these needs drove us to sacrifice our health, our well-being, our rest and balance in the pursuit of meeting them. And once we found that root cause, we could focus on healing the beliefs and traumas around that root cause, which is exactly what we did. With shadow work, self-compassion, meditation, and patience, we healed the childhood wounds and false beliefs that drove those behaviors. And finding the root cause was and is enough to create a huge transformation. But there was one other factor that the inner work also helped us to do, which is also very key in stopping the burnout cycle, which is creating and cultivating a greater level of self-awareness. And the reason that self-awareness is so key is because when you have, for a very long period of time, pushed yourself to keep on working, even though you feel tired and you're used to feeling guilty when you rest, and you've created all these really kind of toxic and negative habits, what happens is it becomes a pattern, and you need the self-awareness so that you can be aware of when you're doing those things so you can stop yourself from doing them. So even with all of the healing that we did, because we were basically workaholics for such a long time, you know, working really hard and pushing ourselves was on autopilot. It was such a habit for us, and the only way to break it was having the self-awareness, because if we weren't conscious every time that we tried to push ourselves or the thought came up, we would just end up getting burnt out again. And one of the things that self-awareness allowed us to do is we recognize the feeling of when we're about to be burnt out. So we'd feel a little bit stress and tension, and our chest would feel tight. And in those moments, we would say to each other, okay, we need more fun, we need more joy, we need to take a rest, because we were aware enough to know that when we feel like this, we're approaching burnout. Okay, so another thing that we also had to be aware of is all the little steps and little actions that we were taking that accumulated to the burnout. Things like doing the odd all-nighter, having liters of coffee for 3 days to get a big project done, or sacrificing going to the gym or incorporating some rest just to meet a deadline. These things seemed minor on their own, but what they were doing is they were adding up and accumulating to our burnout. So we now know all these little things to be aware of and look out for to avoid us getting burnt out. So if this resonates with you, reflect on what you normally do or say before you're approaching burnout. Write them down if you need to and check in with yourself to see if you're doing things that you usually do that would create that burnout. Because having the self-awareness of what your patterns and behaviors are can help you to manage them when those patterns and behaviors come up, so you can actually prevent the burnout long term. In those situations where you do notice those patterns and behaviors coming up that you usually show when you're about to burn out, then you can start to incorporate joy and fun and rest to make sure that you manage it. So if you are struggling with a burnout cycle, we do have a free masterclass called Burnout to Balance, which we'll link down below, which will take you through a step-by-step guide on finding the root cause for you and also healing that burnout. That's it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.